Hello folks, and welcome back to the Keep Productive YouTube channel. Now you are probably coming here because you've heard the Wunderlist news. If you haven't, short summary, Wunderlist is shutting down on May the 6th. And whilst you might want to use the application all the way until that date, you might want to think about an alternative to the application. Now, as you can imagine, I've shortlisted a few. I'm going to talk about them and how they might be suitable for you. So let's start with, I've broken this down into three categories. The first is an exchange in terms of getting almost a bicarbonate copy of Wunderlist in your hands. I'm talking about a second category called upgrade in sort of pushing your application a little bit further. And then I'm going to talk about some alternatives which you might want to make the switch to in the future. And obviously that might be, give you a bit more thinking around the application. So here we go. Let's start with the exchange. Now, obviously, you may want to exchange this application from Wunderlist to Microsoft To-Do. Now, the great thing is that service is still run by Microsoft, and it will allow you to import your lists all the way up till May 6th really, really easily and in a very fine-tuned fashion. They have pretty much all the features, including new features like My Day and suggestions, so you won't be sort of missing out on all of the nice things like wallpapers that Wunderlist used to have, and I guess some of the basic experiences with list sharing, etc, etc. Now there is another application which I think is fairly close to Wunderlist in a sense. It's called any.do. They're an application that's been around for a while, and in their premium service, I'd say really matches the Wunderlist experience. So I'd take a look at that one. What's quite nice is you can order everything inside of lists, and they also combine the likes of AI to help you to organize and plan ahead with your productivity. So those are the two applications, Microsoft To Do and any.do, if you're looking for a pretty much replica experience of Wunderlist. Now, if you're looking to actually upgrade, maybe you want to take this time out to go, I may want a few more features and also a few more, I guess, abilities that may take myself a little bit further. Those are Todoist and TickTick. Now, the first, Todoist, I would say is a really great all-rounder, and it provides you with a really smooth experience. And if you're a Wunderlist user, you will actually get the ability to convert any of your tasks into your new Todoist account if you wish to sign up. And that's the same with TickTick as well. I think Todoist does a good job introducing features like intelligent input, where if you type anything in, for example, like go to bed every night at 11 p.m, it will come up as a recurring task, but it really understands that natural language input. There are a whole host of features as well, like the ability to create subtasks that stem from a task view, projects as well, and future abilities like boards that will take your experience a little bit further. Now, the other application is TickTick. The reason why I want to put this one out there is because, again, it has a good importer for Wunderlist users. But what I also like about it is that it has a lot more of a gamification experience. It does have rewards, which allows you to go up levels when you're working towards your productivity, ticking off tasks, but it also has really impressive themes that also span across the season. So for example, if you want a nice Winter Wonderland theme that goes onto the back of your TickTick account, it does really well at that. And the great thing is you can organize your tasks using Kanban, and it does add a fair amount of features that you wouldn't have had on Wunderlist. So that's something to consider, embedding stuff like priorities, natural language input like it has on Todoist, and also advanced project setups like smart lists to help you create these lists. They're a little bit more interactive than, say, either Microsoft To-Dos or Wunderlists. Okay, so the final ones I want to recommend are more alternatives. These two applications, although similar in productivity sense in that you can create lists for your to-do lists, they might be a bit sort of, require you to research them a little bit further, but I want to introduce two of them. The first is Things 3. Now, if you've got a bit more of a budget, say you're using a Mac or Apple devices, this could be a really nice application for you. What it is it's a to-do list application. It costs $49.99 on Mac and $9.99 on iOS. And if you want the iPad version, that's $19.99. So that's a one-off cost. And obviously, if you're paying nothing for Wunderlist, then that might be a bit of a shock to you, but it's definitely worth considering. The reason why I typically recommend it is because it's a very clean application. And if you're looking for a long-term base, I quite like the fact that you can plan and connect with your calendar in terms of scheduling forward, create projects and areas, and also breakaway tasks specifically in the evening for this evening or today, which is quite nice. The application is really well designed. It's designed by a company called Cultured Code, and it's really well put together. So you can check that one out. I'll make sure to include the link in the description. And the second application is Notion. And although I don't necessarily always recommend it for task management, I think that this application introduces things like table databases, which you may have heard about, and they actually do allow you to organize and plan tasks, creating checklists, and there are a few great templates that can get you started in terms of moving over to a task management inside of Notion, but it also might help you to coordinate some of your work. I know the only reason I recommend this is because I know that many of the Wunderlist users like quite a relaxed, light setup, and I think you can replicate that quite well inside of Notion, whether that's through what's called a table database or whether that's through a weekly agenda, which is just a very simple checkboxes to get you started. So they're all of my recommendations, guys. Let's just go over that. For the exchange of applications, you may want Microsoft To Do or any.do. If you want to upgrade, look at Todoist or TickTick. And if you're looking for a slightly out there alternative that may push the boundaries of your productivity, try Things3 and Notion. These are all my recommendations, and naturally you can read all the details below for those applications. But if you have a specific question, for example, you want some advice on, e.g., what to-do list application should I go for, send me a few of the situations that you're currently using your application to the email francesco@keepproductive.com, and I'm more than happy to try and recommend a few for you. I'm always keen to help you go long term with an application. So you may have been with Wunderlist for like 3-4 years or 5 years, 6 years, 7 years, and I'm really eager to help you settle down with a new application that'll last you a fair while. So feel free to pop me in that email if you want to. But it's been a pleasure sort of overviewing these alternatives. If you're new to Keep Productive, make sure you subscribe, and I will talk to you guys very, very soon. And if you actually have moved already, it'd be great to hear some of your thoughts below, so feel free to comment with some of your suggestions. Anyway, guys, a big thank you, and I'll talk to you guys very, very soon. Cheers, everyone. Bye.